What makes us so different? In how many ways can we approach the same task? There's this fascination we have about options. The uniqueness of means provides us with an outlet that we might not have in real life. Tell me, how many times when somebody recommends you a game, have you heard the phrase, "You can do anything"? GTA, Minecraft, and a ton of other titles. Sure, anything is sort of an umbrella statement. For every any contained within a title can encompass a wide array of things. Driving a car, riding a horse, blasting a bank's vault, harvesting a plant, then setting for deep space. This video, as the previous so far, is a juggle of sorts between ideas that go hand in hand or are adjacent when the least. At first, it was about the cosmetic side of things and the outlet it provides. But beyond that self-expression lies the functional side of things. A beautiful example of this is Deep Rock Galactic, a game that needs no introduction. Get the task, drink the drink, go to the place, do the task, return safe, rinse and repeat. All classes bring something to the team, each with a wide variety of tools, ways to recombine them, and means to stand apart from the crowd, looking your sharpest. The armor, the color palettes, the skin tones, the hats and caps, the hairdos. You can even go sleeveless, with a onesie, or even lederhosen. Not gonna lie, having so many options for facial hair was one of the things that hooked me up on my first time playing it a few seasons ago. So many things to choose from reminded me of a game which was supposed to be the centerpiece of the video before the script became this. Robo Pit, released in 1996 for the PlayStation. Think BattleBots, a little less nerdy, a little more anime. The premise could not be simpler. Build your bot, get to the top. You start with a basic guy, and as you progress, each time you win, you earn points that make your position go up. And also, at the same time, you get to keep one of the two arms that belong to your defeated rival, increasing your arsenal. With each successive win, the points you rack up enable you to fight tougher guys, and the ones you defeated not only get their comeuppance too, but you may see them rise in rank as well. The game is swift, straight to the point, without many more things for me to add beyond that the variety of builds for that time seemed impressive. So, I'm gonna leave the game playing in the background while I do my thing, and you may notice a theme going on. Sometimes I like to play devil's advocate against my own thoughts. It's not only a healthy thing, for it does not allow one's mind echo chamber to close, but to me, it's also one of the contrasting tools that help me get perspective. In a previous video, I made a claim. Despite the impressions this may give off of being the ramblings of an indecisive person, I'm trying to convey once again what I perceive as the self-imposed contrivances to avoid embracing change. Take this video as the other side of that coin. What if, in reality, we are indecisive persons? I sure know I am. I was thinking of those self-imposed contrivances to avoid embracing change and noticed a little something. Once you're inside the game, you are given options. Let's disregard those more linear, clear-cut ones. In the beginning, my thought for this one orbited around the great variety of customization options given in current games. And sure, self-expression in many titles was a big thing, but then the obvious became evident. The many options to face tasks were always there too. But what happens when we don't use them? I remember many years ago when I played Dragon Age Inquisition, my guy was a mage, as I wanted a playthrough that got me the most of the story. It was fun and all until the moment you're supposed to specialize came. Out of the three, I chose the way of the Knight Enchanter, which sounds interesting, but in essence, you become a battle mage, enabling you to wield a fancy spirit blade which looked as if they borrowed it from Zero. Anyway, framed as being a hands-on mage, it sounds neat. This point in the middle, this common ground, lets you carry on wonderfully with the story. But you are supposed to be a mage. The spells you learn thus far are powerful and balanced, yet that specialization will not allow you to try the full extent of that class. In its turn, the Fate Sword allows you to spam your way through, without having any of the more aggressive skills a different class may have. We all must love who we are, no matter if the process of discovery is long. Learning how we deal with stuff can be our most important trait. Realizing what your own patterns are lets you own them. What happens when you are given options, but they all seem just as valid? When none of those options convince you of diving into any of those paths, yet each have enough to make it worth your while. When a gamer is forming his core, the way he approaches problems becomes a template. And when said gamer does not find a path, a jack of all trades is born. At times, this concept may sound limiting, but in a different sense, it's relieving. The origin of it is attributed to William Shakespeare, whom said, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one." What's the meaning in our context? It can be more specific, but let's approach it in this way. Jacks of all trades are those with balanced skills, rounded, able to solve many situations, maybe without the swiftness or precision those more particular require, but able nonetheless. Now, as per usual, I try to lean on the side of the wholesome, so I will make a distinction that one thing is being rounded with enough leeway to carry your weight and then some. Another, very different, is being permitted to carry on spamming crap. Just as you can delete dragons swinging left and right with Zero's sword, just as swiftly my robot climbed up the ladder by sumo pushing the rivals out. Back to DRG, I am a driller main. Sure, there is a stereotype regarding how most play something Geneva conventions, but beyond the cliches, one thing is certain. Scouts are to carry any remaining C4 back to the station. I mean, a balanced driller can be a great jack of all trades. Having some builds at the ready for team comp, I much rather the fire driller. I am not one for meta building, neverwhere, don't care. The CRISPR is great at inflicting status and crowd control, all the more considering the neurotoxin grenade and its synergy, but it's not the only one. When ice is inflicted on a burning bug, or vice versa, thermal shock status is triggered, creating a violent release of energy which turns enemies to ashes, or snowflakes. And if no ice guys were around, the microwave thingy can trigger status on inflicted foes, be it fire, ice, or toxins. Then we reach the thing that makes him a true powerhouse, the power drills, the most multifaceted traverse tool in the game. No pit is too deep, no gorge too wide. Creating bunkers, nests, stairs, every path you wish to carve is at the tip of your fingers. On top of this is an essential part of ice builds. But where it shines is when a team is in need. Down teammate during a boss fight, tunnel below him, break line of sight. Fuel pod hack C in an awkward spot, clear the way up. The drop pod is back and you are too deep in the cave system. Your mates can't fend the horde swarming towards you while you dig up a beeline to the exit. The game is balanced enough to a point where you can skip the need for many tools. Instead of platforms, you can chip a hole in the crevices to get your footing. Instead of a flare gun, you can hit one of those weird trees and they light the room quite nicely. And instead of ziplines, well, who actually uses ziplines anyway? I don't mean to review one of the most beloved games in history, just explain how it overlaps with what I feel. Of course, your mission is meant to be completed, and the means could be any. A team of 4 gunners is as able to complete a mission as a fully mixed one. However, my point here is that sometimes the path of the jack of all trades is taken for some other reasons than that of being useful. It's no mystery by now that I am a loner type of guy. Yes, I have my friends and family, but since always, most of my time is spent alone. And being on the path that this video became about, I consider we turned out like that because most of the times there was no one around to pick us back up. So we learned how to deal with most of what's thrown at us. By the time we got around playing with other people, we took the places that let us care for others. I have a deep impression most jack of all trades evolved to become either tanks or supports, positions that allow to care for your team either on the front line or the rear. In the words of a guardian of the sacred ashes of Andraste, the helper seeks to help because he knows what it is to be helpless. Maybe we adapted to carry our weights, for we knew help was not coming. And when the time came, there was that aspect of it that we overcompensated for and enabled us to care for others, not because they needed help, but because we could spare them the need. A healing spell here, a tunnel there, a pool of flames yonder. In the words of a poet, damn the man wants to be so many things and is never more than when he's just himself. I'm really excited. Your support with the first video to me was out of this world and I could not believe my eyes. At the moment I am scripting this, the second video is dropping a few days from now and I hope it does just as good. In any case, I am working on different scripts at the same time, so I can tinker with many ideas before developing each. And by this, I mean to say that I care deeply for your support and the time you spent hearing me yap. More videos are on the way. I would really appreciate your honest feedback or critiques. After that, if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing. You don't know how powerful your support may be. Thanks for watching.